Hi guys, I'm gonna go over pages 28 and 29. You should have done these by yourself. So hopefully you did. I will do them and you can watch along. And then if you have questions, you want to contact me through email and I can set you up an appointment to Zoom. Okay, so the first thing is anytime you're doing something where you're actually writing the equations, you always want to declare what you're using as your variable. Sometimes it's in the question, but in this case it's not, so I'm going to say x equal the number. So a certain number is added to its square, that would be x plus x squared, is 30. Find the number. So since this is a quadratic, I'm going to put it in standard form and set it equal to 0. Remember, standard form is the same as descending order equal to 0. Okay, this is factorable. I get x plus 6 and x minus 5. Therefore, when I set those equal to 0, I get x equals negative 6, and I get x equals 5. Okay? Therefore, I should state my answers. I'll put a little box right here. 5 comma neg 6. All right, so this one's a little bit harder because it's going to have a fraction because with triangles, the area is 1/2 base the height. Okay, so the area is 42. A half is a half. The base and the height. Okay, so let's see. Here's a triangle. The altitude is 5 less than the base. So if I make the base x, I would make the altitude x minus 5. So x and x minus 5. Okay, so 42 equals half of an x squared minus 5 over 2x. And that's just the distributive property. All right, so I'm not really a fan of that half, so I'm going to multiply everything by 2. 84 equals x squared minus 5x. Much nicer. That's a quadratic, so I'm going to set it equal to 0 to see if I can factor it. And this is indeed factorable. It's going to be x minus 12 and x plus 7. So I get x equals 12 and x equals negative 7. The negative 7 gets rejected because you can't have a negative side of something. Therefore, I have 12 and 7. And right here's my answer. Okay. The length of a rectangle exceeds its width by 4. So I'm going to make the width x, and I'm going to make the length x plus 4. Exceeds is just a fancy way of saying greater than. More, added, whatever. Okay, so if it's area of a rectangle is length times width or base times height. So the area is x times x plus 4. You don't need those parentheses there for the first x. Distributive property. Surprise, it's a quadratic. So I'm going to set it equal to 0. And I'm going to solve. So when I set it equal to 0, I have to think of 96. 96 is not a number I work with a lot, so I have to think for a second. 96. 100's easier than 96, but I can do 96. 96. Let me think. 8 and 12. 8 and 12. So x plus 12 and x minus 8 equals 0. So x plus 12 equals 0, x minus 8 equals 0, x equals negative 12, no such thing for length, x equals 8, that's good. So I get 8 and 12. And these are both in inches, so it's better to put the little inches there. Okay. All right, we're going to keep going. Oh, boy, a square. going to spend a lot of time with squares and rectangles and triangles next year in geometry. All right, so I have a square, and one side of the square is increased by 2 centimeters, so x plus 2. The adjacent side is decreased by 2, so minus 2. The area of the resulting, so x plus 2 times x minus 2 equals 32. Oh, difference of two squares, so that's simple to do, equals 32. So x squared equals 36. Square root, so x equals 6. I'm not putting plus or minus 6 because I know it can't be negative because it is length. So this is 6, because remember that was the x. Find the measure of one side of the square, the original, so it's 6. Okay. Colin is building a deck on the back of his house. He has enough lumber for the deck to be 144 square feet. So, I'm going to make the deck a rectangle. The length should be 10 more feet than the width. So this is x, and this is x plus 10. 10 more, x plus 10. Length times width is equal to 144. So x squared plus 10x minus 144 equals 0. So factors of 144. Let me think. 144. That's a toughie. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do completing this square because I'm just having trouble and I don't have my calculator right now. So plus blank equals 144 plus blank. So I know this is going to be 25. This is going to be a 25. So x plus 5 squared equals 169. So x plus 5 equals plus or minus 13 because the square root of 169 is 13. Alrighty, so that's going to give me x equals negative 5 plus 13, which is 8, and x equals negative 5 minus 13, which is negative 18, but that gets rejected. So this is 8 by 18. And there's the elusive factors of 144 that I just couldn't think of before. And this is in feet. Okay, guys, so that's pages 28 and 29. And this is just a sampling of some word problems. You should just be ready for any kind of word problems you get. I can't teach you every word problem there is in the world, but I can expose you to a few, and you're just going to have to problem solve through the rest. All right, hope you understand it. If you have any questions, please reach out, send me an email, and I will make you a Zoom appointment. Have a great day.